happening, everyone? Hello, and welcome to the Review Roulette Podcast, the podcast that brings strangers together for a movie night. I'm your host, Laura. Join me as I bring two strangers together as we watch and review a randomly selected movie. Now let's spin that wheel and see what movie Lady Luck has picked for us tonight. Hello, and welcome to this roundtable Valentine's Day episode of Review Roulette. We're going to be watching Godzilla Vs Megaguirus, and this is one of my favorite Godzilla movies. As my favorite female Godzilla character, her real name is Masato in real life. I think that's why I always like her too. But yeah, this is the one that nobody likes. That is my favorite, and I don't really like the ones that everybody else. I don't really like Tokyo SOS. It's really not my jam. It kind of feels like the same thing over and over again. But so Nick, you wanna tell us what Godzilla vs Megaguirus is about?
Yes.
And you want to butcher the names of the people in it?
Oh, I'm going to butcher all the names. Godzilla vs Megaguirus came out in 2000, and the premise is Japan creates an artificial black hole device to trap Godzilla forever, but a test of the device creates new foes for Godzilla, car-sized dragonflies called Meganula and their queen Megaguirus. And it is directed by Masaki Tezuka and Ishiro Honda. And
I don't think he was alive when this came out.
when the film actually came out.
Yeah, I just have to remember when he passed away. But yeah.
Masaki Tezuka is known for such things as Tokyo SOS. This movie, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, isn't that one?
Yeah, he's the second unit director.
Yeah. And Rescue Wings. And Ishiro Honda is known for many different
Godzilla movies.
And Ran, which I have not seen, but I do want to.
Is that a Kurosawa?
I can find that out.
What is that?
That is an amazing picture, and it is Kurosawa.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
And this stars Masato Tanaka, who's your favorite,
Kiriko.
who plays Kiriko
Just say
Sujimori.
Kiriko. She's Kiriko, babe.
And she stars in Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, and Lupin the Third. Sweet Lost Night.
Oh, she must be a voice. These are going to be like a bunch of movies. We don't actually know any of them.
It also starts Shosuke Tanihara, who plays Hajime Kudo. I knew I was going to mess it up. It got kind of good for a while there.
You butchered all of those New Zealand names last time.
He is known for Boys Over Flowers, Sky High, and Godzilla Final Wars.
Man on sofa watching TV.
Yes.
Okay. One more butchering for you.
And it stars Masato Ibu, who plays Motohiko Segura.
Yeah.
I got kind of close on
I
that.
don't even know if you did.
He's known for Empire of the Sun, Space Battleship Yamato, Izumi, and Emperor.
Nice. Well, thank you for butchering all of those poor people's names. Those are real people, Nick. Butchered those real people's names. And then our horrible people that we have to subject Megaguirus to is the lovely Matt and Paige. We'll bring them on. What's happening?
Yo!
So I guess you guys could tell us a little bit about yourselves, and then I guess I don't know. Paige, have you seen this movie?
I have not seen this movie. No.
Oh.
She hasn't. It's weird. And I'm not saying this to brag. She hasn't seen the movie, but she's met several people that had worked on the movie. So it's a bizarre situation.
I haven't sampled your work, but it's nice to meet you.
Right.
I've heard good things.
Well, I am Matt from Monstrosities, a vlog of Tokusatsu over on the YouTube. And Paige has unfortunately become Mrs. Monstrosities now. Or soon to be Mrs. Monstrosities, I should say. She, well, you can tell me.
Yeah, Matt and I met in 2018. And before that, I had just the very most bare concept of Godzilla and didn't know much of anything. And now I like to think I'm a little bit more educated, but still the number of movies that I've seen have been pretty small. So I've never seen this one. So that's exciting.
She's seen all the anime movies in theaters. She's seen GMK, the Gamera trilogy. I don't remember if you saw Godzilla 2000.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No.
The Legendary movies and Yeah.
Yeah. Period.
And
That's
Shin.
it.
And Shin.
And Shin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it was always funny because like I was the Godzilla fan when we were at G Fest,
Yeah.
and people kept talking to Nick like, "Oh, you got her to come here." It's like I got him to come here.
that's awesome.
You were the one that married the Godzilla fan, and we're like subjected to all of these Japanese movies. It's like, so did you start off telling her about like your love of this stuff, or did you like warm up to it? Because I felt like I told him, I think it was our first date, and he's like, I saw that thing with that Megalon. I was like, you mean Megalon? It's like, yeah, that one.
Megan Nolan. That's my favorite.
Both hands. And the robot is what he remembered. So that was his extent of his Godzilla knowledge. So yeah, did you warm up to it a little bit? Or you're like, you know what, this is me. This is what I like.
I don't specifically remember. I mean, Japan kind of played a part because she had I had taken a picture outside of the with the giant robot from the Miyazaki Museum from Castle in the Sky, and that was what initially got us talking. She had gone to Japan the year before.
Yeah,
And-
it was one of his profile pictures on the dating site, and I
But,
looked
like-
and I was like, "Oh, he's been to Japan."
Yeah, but it's like as far as the kaiju stuff goes, I don't actually know when that kind of
Yeah,
came
I don't
about.
remember when that came about. I mean, probably pretty early on because you were a YouTuber, so that was like part of your life. I'm sure I asked about that, and
Right. it just always was kind of there. It's funny because I don't have any recollection of that.
No,
you know?
neither.
I mean, fortunately, she
sit-down thing. You're like,
she didn't
I like
she didn't
lizards.
scream and discuss and take off for the hills. So that's the most important thing. You know?
Yet.
Yeah. There's still time.
just
for
trying to
that.
get the chain off. Like someday I'll be free.
But yeah, no, it's been a. I try not to subject her to too much of this stuff because I think she has patience for it, but it's not like,
Her
I don't
jam.
know. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wouldn't be watching it myself if it was just me, but it's fun to watch it with him because he gets so passionate about it. So.
And she's seen some other tokusatsu, like some Kamen Rider, and I think there's been some other things too.
Yeah, a
but,
few. Yeah. Yeah.
a
little bit.
Oh yeah, I think you just like the mega. What was? Oh, because that we also met online. What? Because I had a Ninja Turtle outfit. That was I think what got it. That was what attracted him. I was like, a peacock. I'm like, oh, she likes the Ninja Turtles.
No,
It's
you had
like,
that and like a rock. You were surfing on a rock.
I was surfing on a turtle.
That's right.
Yeah, it was like weird turtle statue. But yeah, it's
Actually, Matt's first message to me was, "Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?" And so, I mean, anybody who knew me would be like, "Oh, well, of course, Paige is going to answer that message." Like,
it's so much better than all the other ones. Was hey, it's like yeah, hey, what are you like? I need something to work with other than hey,
or even worse, "Hey, beautiful." I hated that one. It's like, you don't know
Hey,
me.
babe.
Stop.
No, yeah. Oh, that was a long. It's so I don't know. Like online dating just feels like you're a bird shopping on Amazon because you're trying to like present your best life, but then you're just like
Right.
that one. Yeah. So I'm glad we don't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah, same.
Amen
Especially
to
I can't even imagine how people do it with everything going on. Like,
No.
is it like, hey, I tested negative for the Rona? Like we
Oh,
should
yeah,
we
not
should
like
go.
all the-
Yeah.
Right.
I don't even know how you would commence any of that. So yeah.
Zoom dates. Ugh, that doesn't sound fun.
No,
Oh.
not in the slightest.
So I guess because so what I guess out of the ones you've seen, Paige, what's your favorite Godzilla movie?
Yeah, I like Gamera. I know it's not Godzilla. I know it's different, but like I like the Gamera movies a lot. They seem to have some heart to them, which I like.
The trilogy is what she's talking about. The
Yes.
Holy Kaiju trilogy.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. For actual Godzilla movies, I like the anime trilogy just because it's something completely different than other Godzilla stuff that I've seen. Like a lot of the Godzilla movies that I've seen seem to kind of follow the same little formula, and I like seeing like a different take on that, like it being in the future, aliens being involved and that kind of thing. Like that held my interest a little bit more just because it was something different than the status quo that, I had come to come to expect. So
That makes sense. Yeah, we've watched the first one and the second one, and then I still haven't watched the third one. I probably should do that at some point. But yeah, but like with the Gamera, like as much as I love Godzilla, like I think it's the third Gamera where he like shoots his own hand off.
Yeah.
is my favorite like kaiju thing that has ever happened. Like that's my favorite scene where he's just like looks at his arm and it's like, well, I guess it's gonna have to lose my arm. And so it's like that's my favorite. If I had that in a GIF, I'd probably just watch it. And yeah, I like the Gamer ones. And then what I guess which one is your favorite one, Matt, other than all the anime ones?
The Godzilla movies?
Yeah.
You mean? I mean the anime ones, as I will say for the zillionth time, if the background doesn't already show you, supremely biased against those. But I mean, as far as like actual movies go, and I know this is heresy for a lot of people, but Shin Godzilla is definitely up there. But I mean, it's hard for me to rank a lot of these because there are things about them, each movie I really like. But just off the top of my head, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 74, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah 1991, Godzilla 2000, the American dub, Destroy All Monsters. I mean, there is something I can find within each of these movies, even though how cruddy they might be. And I'm looking at you, Godzilla 2014. That I can sit there and be like, you know what? I enjoy this aspect about it, and that's cool. There's probably not a single one of these movies that I absolutely despise. But I got to tell you, the last time I watched Megaguirus was in the theater at G-Fest in 2017, and that was one of the first times I had seen a Japanese Godzilla movie in the theater, and I fell asleep.
Oh no!
I fell asleep. So I apologize if I'm either quiet because I know it's one of your favorites and I do not want to be rude because
No,
you invited us on here. No. I'm so happy to be here, but it is this one is a difficult watch for me. Just putting it out there.
Oh damn. I mean, it's not like my most favorite. Like, obviously, I
hold on. That's not what you were saying the other night on the After Dark stream. You're like, oh my gosh, it's my favorite so much. Everybody hates it, but I love it.
Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla is like my absolute like top base.
Okay, well, yes,
live or die for that dog monster. But Megaguirus and like Godzilla 2000 are like, I always put those two together because it's the same suit, and I feel like it's just the sequel of Godzilla 2000. But I saw Godzilla 2000 in the theater. Otherwise, I would probably out of the Millennium ones, I really like Godzilla 2000 and Megaguirus. I like Megaguirus more, but it's hard to say with Godzilla 2000 because I saw that in the theater. And that was the first time I'd ever seen one of those in the theater. And it was just like, this is the most amazing experience. Right? With my mom and 4 other people that are in this theater. Poor mom. And then I would like Godzilla versus Megagodzilla 74 is my ride or die. I've seen that movie hundreds and hundreds of times.
Such a fun movie. You can't and that music is so kicking by Sato.
We got it on Nick got it on vinyl, and there's like it's a very jazzy cover is the original cover, and we just feel like pretentious hipsters listening to it. We're like, oh, it's only good on vinyl. But yeah,
it was like a weird collection of the era. But I'm like, this isn't just the theme. It was just a weird
it sounds like it's like she's singing in like a club on a piano, and like it's all smoky. It sounds amazing. I was like, why is this not the part that's in the movie? I like that because in Megaguirus I like the characters because essentially it's the same types of characters that it's in Godzilla versus Mecha or Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. It's the same like girl that did something wrong and people were mad at her, but with this character it makes more sense that she has like a personality and people like her where they've like forgiven her. But that one is just like, I'm dead on the inside and I don't know why I should be redeemed. I don't like Tokyo SOS or Godzilla. I don't even remember which one is first.
No, I'm right there with you. Against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS are, Tezuka, the director. He's nothing against him personally, but his stuff just feels very Ultraman-ish. Very kind of made for TV. A little bit, but I'm right there with you. The Kiryu movies is as much as the designs and the visual effects are so good. The stories just kind of like they just kind of plateau and never really go anyplace,
especially because in the second, whatever the second one is, it's supposed to have like the same girl, but she's like, I left and went to America. It's like, well, you look so much like the other girl that they cast. I don't even know if you're supposed to just be replacing her.
Oh, right.
Storyline. I was just like, I went to America, and it's like, why? Do they have a giant robot in America? Like, I I never. But Nick, what is your?
Is this one of the?
Which one?
Oh no, sorry. I wasn't trying to interrupt. Is this one of the first Godzilla movies where it has a female-centric character? I mean, I know you had Miki Sagus in the Heisei movies, but she was always kind of like co-starring with like a male lead or something. But I think
I think this is the first time where she's actually not. Is it a Mary Sue? That's what I think of when Miki Sagus stuff that happens to her. This is the first like proactive character. Because essentially, like, the guy is the Mary Sue, where he just, like, I made this thing that sucks Godzilla out of his butthole, which is what they said in the movie for some reason. But, because that's why. And then she's just a nice character. And she, like, there's no love. And, like, I've learned I don't really like movies with, like, love interest stories in them so much because it's kind of like, oh, okay. I feel like I've done this before. But that's why I kind of like this one because it's like they're not a couple. They're not going to do this is great Valentine's Day content. You're like, I hate love stories. But yeah, she's just a strong, independent character who kind of messed up in the beginning, but like it seemed like she took it more personally than everybody else did, and she's trying to make up for it. It's not like what is it, Kane? I think it's the name of the character in Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, who like kind of murdered all of her crew, and then everybody was mad at her, but she didn't seem to have a personality that seemed to have cared about the people that she killed. So then it seemed kind of weird that she felt bad that she did it. So this is like, that's why I like her. And then her real, this is it, Masato. Her real name, the actor's name is Masato. That's why I was all excited. So I got my sweet Masato jacket. That's cool.
Yeah, so they're my favorites. Shin for me.
Yeah, I like Shin.
Yeah, Shin is my favorite.
That was fun to see in the movie theater too. That was great.
And then if you go to the kitty side of Godzilla, then I have to go with Megalon or Final Wars because it's just fun.
Double yeah.
Yeah.
Like
this is why you're awesome.
He's like,
it to be a serious good.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to have fun.
You say that, and then you said you like Shin. Like Shin is a serious good movie.
Like, there's two types, I can say I really like this serious movie. But all the politics of just how nothing actually happens. That
took us a couple times to realize that it was supposed to be funny in certain parts. I'm like, oh, the fact that it's like
was
ridiculous.
Really cool to see in the theater, though.
Yeah, we saw that like 3 times or something, right? Yeah, that was fun. I never forget when it was like the first time was it Communicon, the first where everybody's like, what the? It's like it's this little weebly wobbly guy. That's great. He's just dancing. But yeah, so should we get Megaguirus going?
Should get the movie suggestions from them first.
Oh yeah, what is the movie? Thanks, Nick. So Matt and Paige, what movies would you like to recommend for us to put in?
Oh, wait, you said movies. Is there 2?
You each get one. Don't.
Oh.
Calm
Put
down.
me on the spot.
No. You get their own damn movie, Matt.
Okay, you can go first.
I don't want to go first. I don't know. I'm put on the spot.
Well, I'm being put on the spot too. It's not like I know. Like I don't think they know what I'm doing.
Okay, I've got a suggestion. I want to suggest because of all of the GameStop excitement that's going on right now, The Big Short is a really good, entertaining and influential movie talking about the decline of the 2008 stock market in a really good, entertaining way that layman can understand, I think. So, and I think it's a really good movie. I just watched it the other night with my sister.
Okay, we'll add that in. Yeah, because that game, I swear I like had a general idea how the stock market worked, and then I was just like trying to figure out anything with that. I was like, how? Because when I saw it on the news, I'm like, so GameStop went out of business, and it's like, no, it's not. It's very much the opposite. I was like, oh, I guess good for GameStop.
I feel like I'm already dating the podcast just by mentioning GameStop. Like somebody's gonna watch it 2 weeks from now and be like, "Oh man, that went crazy!" Like that's like ancient news now.
Guess what happened now? I was like, "Oh, that's okay." I think like our episode that came out 2 weeks ago, or one of the people was like, "Yeah, so it was Thanksgiving last week." I was like, "Yeah, I guess it was a while ago." Oh, okay. And then Matt, what do you want to put in?
Well, to piggyback off of what Paige suggested, the title I want to suggest is a very relevant piece of cinema, especially to these days, like all of 2020 with the virus and with stocks going up and down. It's this little indie film called The Greasy Strangler.
Yes.
No.
And that's all I got to say about that. It's just a greasy strangler, you know.
Oh, it'll be a sad day when you hit that one on the roulette wheel.
Nick likes it, so
I like it.
I want to see the I guess it's not the sequel. What's the other movie he did that has like
An
which one?
Evening with Beverly Loughlin.
Yeah, I want to watch that one. That one looks like I could tolerate it. That one. I tried
tolerated that one.
Greasy Strangler, and I was just like, no.
Hopefully, I have to watch the whole movie.
Oh god, that's probably gonna be like next week. Like, why?
Yeah, it's on for one spin, and then you immediately get it.
What is my life? Why is it so greasy? I'm sick of that. Like the man at the convention sitting there, I'd be like, that's him, and he murdered all of these people. He seemed like such a nice little man. Oh, I guess we'll get Megaguirus going, and then you can tear into it, Matt. I know it's not. I don't know. It's one of my favorites.
Let's see how
I will not tear into it. I will be respectful.
Like, this is garbage. I guess if you fall asleep, that would be the first for our It's that bad. Okay, we're just going to go watch the movie now, and we'll be right back here for our review in part 2 in just a second. But just so you don't feel left out, here are some choice clips from us watching the movie.
1.35 million tickets sold.
Oh.
It did better than Monster Hunter did.
Oh, yeah.
So this is what he looks like in the movie now.
Okay.
And then
Wait for it.
that's what he's gonna look. That's what he looked like in 56.
Well, that doesn't look at all the same, does
No,
it?
it's not.
I think we're looking at the same pictures, were they?
Picture.
Like he's like a fly larva there, and then
Why is Colonel Sanders there?
That thing was absolutely huge.
He looks
He
like
heard
he
that.
doesn't know
He
why
heard that
he's
somebody
there.
saw a big dragonfly. He's like, I got it.
Yes.
I got it.
I've got a new type of chicken.
Wow. Yes.
Yes, a specimen that is chosen among the Meganula.
Jesus, this guy has a history with freaking dragonflies.
Years before, I believe, a
The
fossil.
grandpa,
The way
we're in the
he's-
hospital.
Yeah, the way he's talking and everything. My brother was taken by a dragonfly.
And her mother before her.
Oversized to
Who
expand.
knew
The Shidos have a long line of
dragonfly related accidents.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm sorry. I just want to comment that last shot where it was from the bay. You could see the destroyed building there. Like, good stuff. And the crotch shot was
Ooh,
beautiful.
we have. Oh yeah, what happened to that kid? I haven't seen him in like an hour.
Imagine the giant wooden box. He's just got the other Mega Nulon thing in there, all up on pins.
Best show and tell ever.
A++ in science. Let's get started with part 2, shall we? But first, if you'd like to be a guest on the Review Roulette podcast, just sign up at our website. It's www.reviewroulettepod.com. That's www.reviewroulettepod.com. Well, that was a thing.
What do you think?
It was a Godzilla movie.
You're like, it was the best. No, I don't want to see that. But I feel like, Matt, you got a different appreciation for it. You sounded like you liked it a little bit better than when you slept with it the other time.
No, it's true. It's definitely true. There's, I mean, the effect work mostly was stuff that I was really just noticing way more. I know that there's obviously scenes in there where people are going to nitpick and everything, but I feel like one of the major things that even fans do with this is that they don't understand the incredible constraints that these filmmakers are put under. So the fact that they're able to pull off the fact like anything new at all is kind of amazing in its own right. So, but there was a lot of stuff in there that I actually enjoyed. I found the movie itself, I still think it's boring, but at the same time, it's like that's like the problem for the entire Millennium movies, really.
Yeah.
But there are elements about it that I like. I do like Megaguirus, and Yeah, and
I just love all the water stuff. I never realized how much I really like that, but like, oh, like even the town underwater, and like the fight. I guess there isn't a fight scene under. Is there? Is the only fight scene underwater? Is that from Godzilla versus Mothra when he fights Batra? Is that the only Godzilla underwater scene?
We had the planes dropping the torpedo bomb things. That was technically an underwater fight in this, but no, there's some good stuff. It's definitely never going to enter my top 10, but I'm never going to sit here and be like,
I'll take
there's nothing good about this movie, you know.
Is it your next video like 10 things I still hate about Megaguirus?
Yes, exactly.
Like, oh.
I should probably make a video about it because it's going to be about another 10 years before Brian and I actually review that flick. So,
like someday. What was the last one you guys did? Is it
Space Godzilla? We got Destoroyah filmed it in the can, but those things take forever to edit, and not only do they take forever to edit, but nobody watches them, despite the fact that everybody's like, "Well, that's the thing." Everyone's like, "We want them," and then they go out and nobody watches them.
Oh,
I'm like, "Oh, okay, well."
I guess what is the most watched thing you have?
God, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. It's probably a fan edit of something.
Oh,
I think it's nothing like, or maybe it's possibly the toy review of the first two forms of Shin. I think I was the first one online to get that up there. We were also one of the first people to get a Shin Godzilla review too. So probably one of those two videos, I would imagine.
Oh. That's gonna be a weird thing to be like, oh, my most viewed video is something where it's like, I don't really know. And it's like, and then there's this thing I like to make. Nobody watched it. It's like, oh,
yeah, that's kind of the struggle with YouTube. There's a lot of people, struggling with that very same thing. Other content creators, non-Godzilla ones as well. YouTube is an absolutely awful platform, but it's the only platform that does what it does. Yeah. Nobody else. I mean, who's like, oh, give me the Vimeo link? Like, nobody goes to Vimeo. Yeah, everybody goes to YouTube.
Yeah, one of because my main entertainment is YouTube, but like one of the things we like to watch is like what is the one guy that makes like he paints miniatures, the Black Magic Craft things, where he was just so frustrated because he was getting sponsorships to like paint these things, but he was just getting so tired of doing it. But it's like, do I keep painting the thing that gives me money, or do I do what I want to do? And it's like, and then he keeps making the sponsored videos. So it's like, obviously, you keep painting the thing that brings in the money. It's like, oh, it's gotta suck to be like have that much of your creativeness dictated by other people. I don't know.
No, I mean, YouTube at this point is just like any other television network or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do stuff that is going to bring in views and that everybody else is doing, and usually it's the kind of public access crap that we saw when we were all growing up. I mean, YouTube is the global public access channel. That's not to be negative, but it's the truth. There's not really there's some skill that can go into some YouTube videos, but I would say more often than not, all it is just people turning on a camera, and that's about it. There's not a whole heck of a lot that goes into it. So.
On that note, Paige, what's the best story that's ever happened to you at work?
Gosh, everybody always asks that, and it's such a hard question because it's like, what could possibly happen that's going to live up to everybody else's expectations? Like when they ask,
like, I had to fly the plane and land it. You're like,
right, yeah, like it just doesn't happen.
The entire movie of Airplane was based off an experience that Paige had.
That was just her Wednesday.
Right. I don't know. The one of the most, I don't know. Here's my best angry passenger story. I think was we were going from Salt Lake City to Denver, and there was tornadoes on the ground in Denver. So we circled for a while, and it was kind of like the captain was, well, we'll probably have to go turn back. Side story, before I get to the angry passenger story, this was also one of my favorite moments from a child. It was, so we go on the PA and we're like explaining the situation. Like, we're going to circle for a while, but we may have to turn around because the whole like airfield's closed. Like, we can't land, this and that, and, so call lights are going off because everyone wants to know about their connections and their luggage and everything. And so I get this call light and I go over, and there's this, he was probably like a 12-year-old boy. And I go over and I'm like, he goes, are we going to go back to Salt Lake City? And I said, I don't know. We might, because there's tornadoes on the ground in Denver. He goes, well, I don't want to land in a tornado. And I said, oh, don't worry. The captain's going to do the most safe thing, the safe. And he goes, I just really don't want to land in a tornado because, you know, there might be sharks in it. And I just like stared at him and he was just like, and he just goes, Sharknado. And I was like, you are the coolest kid I think I've ever met.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was he totally wanted to troll me, and I loved it. So anyway, we go back to Salt Lake City, and we're on the ground, and some people are getting off to like get food and stuff because we have to wait for Denver to like reopen before we take off, and so people are kind of coming on and off the plane, and I'm in the front galley, and I'm talking to both of my coworkers, and one of them, the one who was working in the front of the plane, she was like this ex-military, like older woman, just very like no nonsense, you know, she was kind of, she was talking to me about this one guy who was he was trying to explain to us, like he wanted a free hotel when we got to Denver, and we were trying to explain. We literally have no sir, like short of writing you a check, I cannot do anything for you. Like you have to go upstairs and talk to them. And so she's like venting to me about like, I have told him that 5 times and he went to you like this and that and the other. And meanwhile, this other woman holding a baby is trying to get back on the plane, like this, you know, toddler. And so I turned to my other coworker who was facing me and kind of in her way. And I said, oh, there's somebody behind you. So she turns around, still venting to me, and like turns around, and the woman took it as she was yelling at her. And so she starts swearing at my coworker, and my coworker, like I said, very no nonsense woman. She was just like, oh, you are not getting on the plane with that kind of like language and stuff. The woman like totally rears back, spits at her, like holding a baby, spit right at her. And I'm like, I was just like in shock. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone spit at somebody else in real life. Like,
oh my God.
She turns right around, the lady turns around, goes right back up the jet bridge. And we were all kind of like in shock. And anyway, the police ended up like getting her and stuff. Like we had to like fill out police reports about her.
Oh my God.
Stuff. Like, oh, it was insane. Just escalated so quickly. So
that's one of those things where people are like, oh yeah, they spit. It's like, no, spitting on somebody is like the gross, like I'd rather be hit in the face than spit on.
Right.
Like,
yeah, totally. I mean, you know, you don't know if she's got something weird going on or, you know, and so luckily I don't think anything actually made contact with my coworker, luckily, but like it was
God.
So I was just like, I can't believe I just saw that happen. Like I've never seen anything like that happen before.
That's
so
bad.
Oh,
yeah.
I was just laughing because you called them call lights, and that's what we call them at work. And I was just like, oh my God, because I feel like your job and my job are kind of the same thing, except yours is magically in the air and mine's in a sad hospital. But it's like everything at the hospitals, like people don't realize it's all about like customer service. Like you think people are sick, you're trying to make them better. It's like, no, you have to make them feel better about getting better. It's like, no. So it's like I feel like to be like a flight attendant where it's like these people can't leave. They have to be here, and I have to be nice to them. So
I feel like yours is a little worse though, because they have to be there. Like at least in my job, most of the time people are flying for like they want to be on the plane. Vacation. Yeah, right. Like they want to be on the plane, or they need to be on the plane. Whereas, you know, like in your job, they're kind of stuck and they can't really like they're the level of control. I mean, and I will say probably that there are similarities between you and I, because like the level, like when people lose control of like the situation, like, you know, they tend to, you know, be a little bit more like nervous and a little bit more agitated, you know.
A lot of it is making people feel like they're in control of a situation, even though they're not. Like that's a lot of my job is like, oh yeah, you're totally in, like you make like not decisions, but like, because a lot of my job is like getting people to do stuff they don't necessarily want to do. Like when you don't feel good, you don't want to like get up, you don't want to do stuff.
Right.
But, like you have to like convince them like, oh yeah. And then it's like, so different people. So some people either want to be like told what to do, or some people want it to be like their decision, what they do. So it's just kind of trying to figure out the best way to talk to people and the best way to make them feel like, oh yeah, this was your idea that you're doing this, or
Oh,
Like a
totally.
lot
Yeah.
of people just like to be told, like you have to tell them like, oh, you need to get up, or like, or it's like a lot of like older people need like the doctor said you have to get up.
No.
It's like finding that authoritarian figure that person needs, and like
Right.
either being that or like a lot. Like I think yesterday I had to like, or 2 days ago when I worked, I had to go get a male nurse that was older because it's like that was the only thing that this other guy would listen to. It's like, oh, let me go get Ron to tell you the exact same thing that I just told you. But because it's from a guy that's a little bit older than I am, you're going to be like, oh, okay, sir. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Like, oh, that's great. Oh, so what's like the longest like flight that you would do in your 3 days?
So, my airline mostly is domestic. I mean, somewhat a little bit international now. And we do go to Hawaii now, so that's nice. So that would be a pretty long one going to Hawaii, but I've not worked that myself. But I have worked like Baltimore, San Francisco, and that kind of thing. So that was 6 hours, but those are pretty, there aren't very many of them that we run into that we have to be on for 6 hours. 5 is more, normal, I guess, but still considered long to us. We're like, ugh, I have a 5-hour flight today, So
It's kind of like when I have like the same patients for like all day. It's like I have to see these people again tomorrow, where it's like 5 hours of like the same people over and over again. You're like, I want new
Right.
fresh people.
right.
Don't spit on me. I don't have anything for anybody to try to. I've had people try to hit me. I've never had anybody spit on me before.
Oh, well, hitting is still scary though.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, I guess, but like, I don't know. I feel like in my situation, if somebody was gonna do that, like it's a very public venue, right? Like
true,
there are 20 people sitting in like the immediate vicinity that are going there, and they're going to like interfere, like
Yeah.
especially
I
since,
never thought about it like that. Yeah.
like especially since, well, one, I'm most of us are women, so any man who's sitting around is going to try to interfere, and then also since 9/11 and stuff, people are more like they kind of watch what's going on the plane, and they will take the steps necessary. Like I've luckily have never had any sort of situation like that escalate to me, but I had my old roommate, she had one where like he was kind of getting in her face, and there were 2 guys sitting right there, and they both just like stood
Like,
up
nope.
and were like, "That's not today." You know what I mean? Like it's kind of different for you. I think everything is a little bit more like private, and who's going to help you? Other sick people, Like,
Yeah. Well, then it's kind of hard because essentially, if I were to ever do anything, I get in trouble. Whereas
Right.
essentially, if anybody else were to like, it's not self-defense. It's more like, what did you do wrong in this situation that you had to do something? It's like, well, they hit me, so I just didn't want to get hit anymore. So yeah, so it's a
Yeah.
weird. It's a
Yeah.
weird thing.
Whereas for us, we're literally taught to fight. Like back, like we get trained on it every year, like mild self-defense stuff, and talk about like, okay, so what could be used as a weapon in this situation on the plane, because obviously the security of the flight deck is our number one priority, so I mean, I think if we got into a situation like that, like literally we're taught to defend ourselves and to defend the flight deck, like so if we
I see if I can get some of my like the video, because we have to do the same things, but it's essentially like, what can you do to defend yourself to not hurt the other person? Where it's just like, if somebody's pulling your hair, just don't break their hand. Yeah, it's just it's weird.
Oh,
but yeah,
no.
I feel like
With us, it's like take them down. In fact, I think I think there's been instances. I think there was an instance of, and don't quote me because I don't know the specifics. I couldn't tell you, but I think there was an instance of like some passengers tried to restrain another passenger at one point, and like they actually like were physically sitting on him, and I think he might have died. Like somebody, oh gosh, I could not tell you the details on that situation, but no, we're taught like, yeah, no, do what you need to do, because I mean, especially because it used to be back before 2001, it was comply, like people like if they're trying to hold the plane hostage, like comply with their demands and this and that. But that was before they started trying to use the actual aircraft as a weapon, so it's very different.
Yeah. It's weird how different things make your workplace evolve, because it's like, and then I think I saw I only watched the news at work, but it was just like now the FFA is like, yeah, we're gonna not have any tolerance for that. It's like you shouldn't have had any tolerance for any of that stuff anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. When we got, when that did come out, we were all kind of like, really? Like, so what have you been doing up until now? Like,
It's weird when you realize you work for like you think working for like an airline or like even a hospital. It's like you don't realize how consumer based it is until you work there, and you're like, no, we need to make them feel better. It's like I thought that's why they came here,
right.
why they're flying. It's like you should just be like you're on a plane to get from one place to another. That's what you're there for. It's not to be a dick and spit on people.
I mean, and luckily 99.99 of them are. Most people, I love most of my passengers that just come in, sit down, maybe ask for a drink, and then I don't hear from them again. It's only the select few that you remember, sadly. It's not the great ones that you remember. It's although I do have a great story. Here's my good one to offset the spinning.
That'd be good. Go back to Megaguirus, but I want to hear the good one.
Right. So this story I always think of, or especially around the holidays. It was Christmas Day. And it's a very simple story. I was just standing in my boarding position, and this guy comes up to take his seat, and he just looks me just straight in the eye and says, "Thank you for coming to work today so that we can go where we want to go." And I was like, my first instinct when he said that to me was, thank you for acknowledging that I do have a family I would rather be with today. But then my second thought was, I didn't think TSA today. I came in contact with the van driver who drove us to the airport and the hotel people and this and that. And his words meant a lot to me. And I should be just as sincere especially on Christmas and Thanksgiving and that kind of thing, to the other people who I don't know, you kind of think, well, we're kind of all in this together because we're all working. But no, they are still performing a service for me as well, So I try to keep that in mind every holiday. And I think everybody, if you have to, go and you have to go out on a holiday, go to the store, whatever, especially like right now with the pandemic, like especially back like in March and stuff, I was trying really hard to be nice to those people because it's not fun, So
that was a lot of our patients. Was the first wave was retail workers, and that was hard because it's like, because I work in the hospital, we have protection, but it's like those are the people that don't have anything and they have to work. So that was hard.
Yeah.
But then it is weird on a holiday because it's like, oh, this sucks, I have to work, and you always kind of think that, and then you're working with everybody and you're like, well, we're all working together, but it's like, well, everybody's working and we shouldn't have to be working. It's like I'd rather be home, not doing
right.
Yeah. Like holidays are things that kind of like make that be like, oh, I wish I had like that 9-to-5 job, but then it's like, well, I don't, because I like what I do. So it's like, I guess this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't Megaguirus fun, guys? Like great transfer for that.
Yes.
We'll just do a general rating scale for the one who has seen it and the one that has greatly seen it again and now thinks it's a great movie. What would you guys rank? We'll review it, so this can actually be a roulette review. But what just a general ABC scale? What would you guys give Megaguirus?
I don't know. I'd give it a C. Like it was good.
That's
it was
better than I thought. Good deal.
I mean, it was cute, I guess. Yeah, it was cute.
It was cute,
It was
I guess.
cute. I mean, I enjoyed parts of
Paige
it.
from Monstrosities. It was cute, I guess.
It was cute. I liked the kid. I liked the interactions between the woman and the kid, and I liked, the underwater scenes a lot. So,
probably a C- or a D+, maybe.
C-.
Maybe you know what? Maybe I take that back. Maybe somewhere on the scale of C- to C+, someplace in that vicinity.
So a C.
Yes.
It depends on what time of the day. I don't think it's going to go into. I take back the D thing, the D+. Yeah. So somewhere in the range.
I think it ranks a little higher than D. I don't know. I will give this a B. I will be nice. And then Nick, what will you give it?
I would give it a C as
A
well.
C. So this
A
is
lot
going to
of it is
be
the motion stuff that has bothered me a
yeah,
lot.
the frame rate. It
The
kind of
frame
reminded me
rate.
of Godzilla Returns, where it's like the weird frame
I
rate.
was thinking of
Raids
Raids
again.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger said
Yeah.
super fast.
Yeah, where it's like they just literally lost the footage or whatever it was. Yeah. Oh, so I guess Megaguirus gets a C minus.
It's an A.
Yeah, the
I like
suit, the
Godzilla
suit and the roar is an A plus plus.
I'd agree with that. I liked the suit. I liked the roar.
There are definitely A+ things about it, but it's, I mean, on a whole,
C of D's. It's just no.
yeah.
Oh. Well, I guess thanks for coming. Thanks for watching.
Hi.
Oh, hi
Oh,
puppies.
hi. This just happened out of nowhere.
There's puppies that want to see you, I guess.
Hi,
He's
guys.
a big puppy.
They've been like by our feet all the time, and all of a sudden they're like, nope, we're here.
Jumped on my lap.
Yes. Well, thanks for coming.
Well,
Of
thanks for
course.
having us.
Hopefully you guys can come on for like an actual episode where you can meet another random person and watch the Greasy Strangler with them.
Or whatever random movie comes up.
Oh. It's gonna be a fun one. Every time I put everything in the bag, I'm like, this is gonna be great. Great. But big shorts. Big Short sounds amazing. And then Gracie Strangler sounds like I just kind of want to get it out of the way, and then it doesn't happen. And then
And
my show
your
never
life
goes
will
on.
forever be changed.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh god. This has been the Review Roulette podcast. I'm your host, Laura. Thanks for joining us on our extra special Valentine's Day episode where we watched the most amazing Godzilla movie ever, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. And a special thanks goes out to our guests. We had the soon-to-be Mr. and Mrs. Monstrosities. We had Matt and Paige. You were
Hootie,
singing-
tootie, disco cutie. Hootie, tootie, disco cutie.